You are listening to the Tricorder Transmissions, ep034. And now, here are Craig and Jeff.
Hello again, and welcome back to the Tricorder Transmissions. We are your hosts, Jeff Hewlett.
And Craig Cohen.
And this week, we're back again with another commentary episode. And this week, we're talking about the Apple. So, real quick, Craig, I have a couple of Trek-related items that we're going to be talking about. One of them, it's not original series related, but I thought it was a really cool note about Wil Wheaton. And Will is doing a new show for the Sci-Fi Channel, and this sounds really cool to me as a geek and a sci-fi nerd. The show is going to be a 30-minute weekly show where Wil Wheaton is going to talk about popular sci-fi films, television, pop culture stuff, video games, viral videos, all of that kind of thing. So it's going to be kind of like a rapid fire sort of talk about all things geeky and current.
Ah, cool. What's it called?
The Wil Wheaton Project.
Ah, neat.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I'm reading that it's going to be kind of like a talk soup.
Okay.
For the geek crowd.
I can dig it.
Yeah, so that's not original series related, but I thought it would be pretty cool because, I think everybody who enjoys the original series and sci-fi in general has a bit of a geek running through them, so I think anybody out there could appreciate that.
Awesome. And when's that starting up?
I don't see a date for that yet.
Well, we'll look for it, and I guess we'll make sure to speak about it again when it gets closer to air. Excellent.
Yeah. Now, this one is interesting to me because this is something that the two of us are going to have to deal with together.
Uh-oh.
So, looking at the list of upcoming conventions at which original series cast members are appearing, it appears that there are two upcoming conventions in the very near future that are occurring on the same weekend in New Jersey.
Okay, so this is what, the end of April?
Yes, so the weekend of April 25th through 27th, Craig and I will be going to the Chiller Theater convention at which Walter Koenig will be present.
Yeah.
But on that very same weekend, the Star Trek convention in Cherry Hill will be taking place, and Nichelle Nichols will be there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Tough call, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Well, we've already committed to the the Chiller Theater.
Yes, we have. So we'll be going there on that Friday evening, I believe. So unfortunately, they fall on the same weekend, and we won't be able to really hit both, I don't think.
Wow, that's a big get for that convention in Cherry Hill.
Yeah, really, because last time they didn't really have any original series.
No, I think they were celebrating an anniversary back.
Yeah, it was a Deep Space Nine.
I think it might have been DS9. They had some DS9 centric people there.
Yeah, they did. I remember Chase Masterson sitting out front.
Yeah.
And I think Michael Dorn was there, I believe, wasn't he? And Auberjonois was there.
Yeah, possibly a lot of people that we didn't see.
Yeah. So, that about wraps it up for the news section. I thought that was kind of an interesting choice we had to make there, but we'd already made the choice to go to Chiller, so we'll be seeing Chekhov. Look for the pictures of us with Chekhov to be coming to the website pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely going to hand them some Tricorder Transmissions swag.
Ah, nice. Yeah,
take the opportunity.
And we had missed him once. He had canceled, right?
He canceled the last Chiller. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of heartbroken over that because I was really, really dead set on getting there and seeing him, but didn't work out. He canceled kind of at the last minute, so.
Yeah, well, we got our chance now.
Yes, we have another chance now. So, ready to jump into this episode?
Sure.
All right, so the Apple aired on October 13th of 1967, and we got the remaster on March 1st of 2008.
All right, and a quick plot rundown. The crew of the Enterprise visits a mysterious planet controlled by a computer that is served by local inhabitants.
All right, very cool. So we are going to start our scene-specific commentary for the Apple in 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Familiar sight.
Yes, back with the flyby. I'm so glad because we didn't have it. I missed it in the last episode.
Yeah.
So here we are in another set, actually, with that weird red backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an interesting landing party.
Yeah, some unfamiliar faces. And this episode actually is one of the most popular red shirt theory backing episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, so look for a lot of red shirt deaths.
Yeah.
Well,
we got the dual beam down here.
Yeah, you got 2 sets. I guess that they maxed out the transporter room, right? With the first set.
Uh-huh.
So you got 3 more. McCoy beams down with 2 more security guys.
Yeah.
So this may be the biggest landing party we've had yet. Mm-hmm. Right? And look at Chekhov macking that girl over there.
Oh yeah, he spends a lot of the episode putting in some time, and it seems like they've got some history. But back to the transporter real quick.
Yep.
It almost seems like, and we, when they beam up, they don't need to be standing on a transporter. I guess the ship locks onto them. You'd think they'd be able to beam people down in a similar fashion, no?
Yeah, that's another big mystery about the transporter so far. We haven't seen that capability taken advantage of yet, of being able to beam somebody from one location to another location without using the transporter pod on the Enterprise as part of the process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this. This girl is kind of doe-eyed looking at Chekhov.
Yeah, as he spouts some nonsense about this planet reminding him of Russia.
Yeah, there were a lot of Russia references by Chekhov. I guess his comic relief. I think we're getting our first red shirt death right here as the plant shoots him with these weird darts. Yep. Well, that's a lot of darts, man.
Oh, yeah. And that guy, that's a great death scene.
Yeah, that is an awesome death scene. He went down very well.
Yeah.
He sold it, as we say.
And I like the fact that they set up this threat right at the beginning. So when it happens again, you get really worried.
Yeah. And the next one is actually kind of fun. What a nice stinger. Pretty good in the pantheon of stingers. I mean, we get some really good ones and some kind of marginal ones, but that was pretty good. So you got a red shirt guy dying before the show even technically starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess back in 1967, that guy and his family were gathered around the TV, and he was like, okay, we can go eat dinner now.
So that guy was Hendorf, I believe his name was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so Hendorf, he's the first red shirt to go, and every red-shirted male in this landing party is going to die in some way, shape, or form. So pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty rough. All right. So getting the end of the credits here, rolling into.
Now, one thing I like about these, the set work here, and I didn't compare and contrast, but it seems like that red sky background that you referenced, that seems like it's got a little bit of some kind of remastered effect going on, no?
That's hard to say. Maybe they evened the color out some.
Yeah.
Cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah, smoothed it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because if there's occasionally you'll come across a shot in these remasters that I guess for some reason they weren't able to clean up. Yeah. And you can tell immediately which ones they are because the drop in quality is quite dramatic. So, the vast majority of what you're seeing has been cleaned up and tweaked and, the color's been evened out and, so it would probably be easy to tell if they weren't fixed up is my point. So I guess they had to have done some processing on these. Yeah.
I think the times where you really notice it is the times where they're working with a shot that was somehow altered for, an optical effect where they were stacking negatives on top of each other, and going down a couple generations. But, yeah, that is something I've noticed. So another thing I noticed here is there's no Sulu on the bridge.
Yep. And Uhura is not in this episode either.
So weird. Just when I thought we had established our core crew. They go and mix things up on us.
Yeah, I know. It's strange because we had an episode already where Chekhov was missing and he had just been introduced.
Yeah.
So it looks like we don't really stabilize the full crew yet for some reason, even though there are some episodes where they are all there. But for some reason, we still have some curious absences.
Yeah.
So Kirk is warning about the poisonous plants.
I mean, how nervous would you be here? It would be like seeing somebody step on a landmine and then having to walk like the length of a football field where you can't see where you're stepping.
Yeah, well, you look at all the vegetation behind them and on the sides. It stands to reason there could be a bunch of those plants in there. They don't know what angle those little spikes are going to come from.
Yeah.
And there's Chekhov holding a tricorder upside down. See, Spock is holding it the proper way, and Chekhov once again is using it improperly.
Yeah.
Somebody tell Chekhov he needs to read the manual. Uh-oh. And his chick is getting a little impatient.
That is Celeste Yarnell, an actress who did a lot of TV work in the 60s, Hogan's Heroes, Bonanza, Man from U.N.C.L.E. And the very next year after this episode, she would star with Elvis in Live a Little, Love a Little.
Oh, you see that? They almost had a little kiss scene there when Kirk barged in.
Yeah.
So pretty cool facts about her. I didn't know anything about her going into this. So
yeah, it's always
for
neat
digging that up.
Oh, no problem. I enjoy looking at the filmography of people that pop up on this series.
She looks quite young in this.
Yeah. Well, I went to her official website and she she still seems pretty active. I think she was born in 1944.
Huh.
So she would have been 22, 23 when she filmed this episode.
That looks about right.
Yeah.
That looks about right. Strange object, the rock on the ground that Spock is picking up. It looks like a spray painted rock, red and green.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he breaks it in
styrofoam.
half.
Yeah. The interesting thing here is nothing happens when it's broken, but when it's thrown, then it explodes.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. That's got to be an interesting, makeup of that for a break not to cause an explosion.
Yeah. Now that seems to me like a definite miss, because they could definitely pull some of these rocks off this planet and use them as weapons. For sure.
Yeah.
Because coming up in a little while, they're probably going to... I never really noticed. I've watched this episode a bunch of times. I never noticed those serpent tongues sticking out of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice those?
No, I did not.
That's the second one I've seen.
Yeah.
So they're kind of just stuck amongst the plant life there. Now look, we have Scotty at Spock's station.
Yeah, Scotty does, triple duty on this episode.
Yeah, he's like a jack of all trades up there.
Yeah. Which would make you think that Sulu's presence would have been even more required.
Yeah, you would think. So Scotty is analyzing some power. I guess there's a drain on the ship at this point.
Yes.
Again?
The convenient plot convenience of not being able to beam up.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier today, this reminds me, I was thinking earlier today that we could do an extended episode on all of the things that disable or interrupt all of this great technology that these guys have. So if you think about it, all of these things that they carry around with them, tricorders and phasers and communicators are pretty powerful, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things we see over time that either disable them or disrupt them and make them useless. A big moment here. Big moment. Spock pushes Kirk out of the way and takes the bullet.
Yeah.
The spores. Yeah.
Yeah. And
what a great fall over.
And I'd imagine at this point we've seen cast members die before, only to come back to life. But here we saw a red shirt basically take the same exact shot and die.
Pretty much. Yep.
And I guess the only thing that in the back of your head is you're saying he's a Vulcan.
Yep.
His makeup is different.
Yeah, they go to that well many times. So
it still had me worried though.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you be? But McCoy has injected him with a drug called Massiform D. So they don't really name the drugs all that often, but
Yeah, that's over the counter now.
Oh, okay. Prescription free. Nice. And they want to beam him back up, but something tells me that's not going to work.
Yeah, this seems like it might have had adverse effects where they're deassembled and reassembled on planet a handful of times.
Yeah, look at it. They're kind of scrambling and descrambling. You know, this marks an interesting moment, though. There haven't been occasions that I can remember where Kirk has beamed the landing party out of a situation like this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, there's a lot of times where they're in some really hot water and Kirk doesn't bail out.
Yeah. And not to sidetrack that, but one thing I just noticed that I wanted to hit on is the amount of times that Kirk has worn that green dress uniform shirt this season.
Yep. I wonder... Now, I bet you there's people out there who are going to, frown at me saying this, but I wonder if there was some sort of a thought that they had to differentiate Kirk more uniform-wise since he was the captain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's got a yellow shirt on, but so do a bunch of other people. Sulu's got the same color shirt. Maybe they thought they needed to differentiate Kirk more.
Yeah.
Make him stand out.
Yeah, and that's something we'll have to keep an eye out for as the series progresses. I really can't recall. I guess we all get so used to that classic yellow shirt.
Yeah, I like the dress uniform for Kirk, though. I think it's a pretty cool, a cool color. I like the way they have the emblem on the bottom sideways.
Yeah. And it's kind of like almost a riff on the dress uniform too. It's like a less formal version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's cool. I kind of like it, and I think it's cool to have him differentiated slightly from the other crew members, even though we know that he's the captain, and I guess people who watch the show know. But it's kind of cool to see them, pull him out a little bit like that.
Oh, totally, yeah. And I think we've talked offline at least about how much I love when they put thought into the production design and costuming. So. I love all the details that they add, as the series goes on and as the movies go on.
Mm-hmm. So another big moment right there that just passed when Spock comes, quote unquote, back to life. Kirk actually asks him, "Do you know how much Starfleet has invested in you?" And Spock starts to rattle off a number.
Yeah.
A monetary number, the 122,200, and then he gets cut off.
Yeah.
So we don't really hear a lot about money, but apparently it still exists.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's an episode we've talked about yet, but there's an episode, it might be one of the ones we did last week or an upcoming one where Kirk tells Scotty that he earned his pay.
Yep.
Oh, and a red shirt struck by lightning and disintegrated.
And vaporized by the lightning. That's weird.
Yeah, the vaporizing in this universe really, really bugs me. And it bugs me only in the sense that I'd imagine it would make filing an insurance claim incredibly hard.
Yeah, you would think, because there's nothing left.
There's no proof.
Yeah, I mean, well, he could have just flown off and gone to another planet. He may not actually be dead. There's no proof. Yeah. We got no body.
I'd imagine in the 23rd century it's impossible to to file any kind of life insurance claim without a body.
Yeah, really.
Or a strict Starfleet record of it, which I guess in this guy's case you might have, but we've had cases where guys have been shot and vaporized and there's nobody around to record it.
Yeah, I guess they just have to take Kirk's word for it at this point. Like, well, he was on the ship. We know he was on the ship. He beamed down to the planet. He didn't come back. So it has to be, I guess, Kirk's word that, okay, this is what happened to him.
Yeah.
So pay out the claim to his family or whatever.
God, can you imagine like a spin-off show based on like intergalactic insurance investigator?
Yeah, I was just about to say Starfleet. The Starfleet insurance adjuster.
That would be awesome.
Every time the Enterprise gets damaged, they have to call it in against the policy.
Yeah, that's a weekly show you could do on primetime TV.
Absolutely, all the accountants in the world would love to watch that.
Yeah, but I think you could also get like your Incredible Hulk or, Touched by an Angel type scenario where every week he's sort of rolling into another territory, or, coming to another planet to trace a red shirt who was vaporized.
Oh, boom.
God, I still don't know how they did that without killing that guy.
That's amazing. He stepped on the exploding rock, but he himself didn't explode or lose any limbs.
Yeah, it must not have been any kind of it must have been maybe like a flash pot or something, but either way, it's a great looking effect.
It was very cool. And it's strange to me that he didn't sustain any injury.
Yeah. Well, if they had made that episode, I guess 10 or 15 years later, they would have had a springboard for him to launch off of.
Yeah, really.
He'd probably been missing his legs.
Yeah, if that was today, he'd have been blown into pieces and you'd see the guts everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And imagine in 3D, it would have come, you might have gotten hit by some.
Yeah. Did you notice that while they were looking at his body, the female red shirt was nuzzling with Chekhov over in the corner of the screen?
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, he's macking it up with this girl, man.
Hey, they're young and full of hormones.
Well, hey, I guess some things in the future don't change.
Mm-hmm. So this is interesting in that where we haven't really gotten a reveal beyond the mysterious person we saw lurking in the bushes earlier. So this is really an episode that takes its time, sort of revealing, what's behind what's going on the planet.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of a build-up here, you're right. And, I guess the one red shirt guy located a village of some sort, and we have to assume that's where this mystery visitor or watcher is coming from. And we've only seen like the little top of his head sticking out of a bush here and there, but...
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that. I think Chekhov's hair is his real hair in this episode.
Yeah, I think we're beyond wig at this point.
Yeah, I think that he and here's Kirk's distraction. He has Spock and Chekhov creating a diversion for this guy.
Yeah, who instantly Kirk realizes is not operating from any kind of nefarious level. No.
Kirk socked him one, and then the guy immediately starts crying. You know what this guy reminds me of?
Yeah.
Do you remember the tropical island scenes from Top Secret?
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of the guy from the tropical island scenes from Airplane, doesn't he?
Yeah.
With the silly hairdo and the naked chest and the...
Oh, that's great.
So, and amazingly, he speaks perfect English.
Yes. And we've gotten the idea that this is a very... is simple the right word? Simple species?
Yep. He's part of a group, the Feeders of Vol.
Yeah.
So we don't know who Vol is. And there's another one of those serpent tongues sticking out of the ground again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
the one thing I really like is how instantly Kirk sort of became empathetic with this guy once he realized that there was no physical threat.
Yeah, he shifted gears quickly. Yeah. I guess that's his diplomacy training kicking in.
Yeah. I think that was a great, a great moment. And I think it's, something a lot of people don't expect from Kirk when they think of his character. And there we've got the antennae.
He's got some sort of metal antenna sticking out of the back of his head. 2 of them, one on either side. So it's kind of like almost Andorian in appearance.
Yeah.
Right? Except they don't stick out of the top of his head. They stick out of the back.
Yeah, it's almost like this guy, it's kind of cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah, good way to think about it. So they're going to go back to the village now. And notice that the plants with the poison darts aren't as much of a concern at this point. They just kind of forgot about them.
Yeah, they were almost like, what, this episode's MacGuffin?
Yeah, exactly. The red herring, if you will.
Yeah. And Scotty has put the ship into red alert.
Yep. And a lot of red shirts on the bridge. Awful lot of red. Look at them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we can see in that one shot.
I think it was red shirt night on the bridge.
Must have been.
Where red shirts didn't have to pay a cover.
No drink minimum on the bridge. So I guess we're establishing that the Enterprise is decaying. The orbit's decaying. Mm-hmm. Again, we have this. They're having they're kind of a fly on paper. Scotty is saying so. Kirk is wanting them to reverse the pull so they can stay above the decaying orbit, but I guess it's not working. So it's up to the landing party on the forest moon of Endor to turn off the energy shield. Oh wait, sorry about that.
That might be why they don't have Sulu on board here, to sort of protect him, if you will, from having to do the job to this the pull of this planet.
So you think if Sulu was there, he could have figured out a way out of it?
If anybody could, Sulu could. I think he has proven himself over the course of the series so far to be an expert helmsman.
Interesting. That guy looks awfully sunburned, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a really good makeup job they did.
Yeah, his skin looks it looked red in the previous shot. Now it looks kind of brownish.
Yeah,
must be the lighting. Yeah. So interesting thing about this episode, and this is attached to the 2009 Star Trek movie. Apparently, Anton Yelchin, the Chekhov of the new reboot series, in a special feature on the DVD version of the movie, called out this episode specifically.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because Chekhov macking on Yeoman Landon. Instead of working on the actual mission, he seems more concerned with... So it was one of the eccentricities that he tried to emulate about Chekhov.
Oh, excellent! I'll have to dig out that DVD and take a look.
Yeah, definitely. So we got a paper mache serpent cave.
Yeah, Vol,
and so actually kind of cool looking to me. I like the way they built that whole. This is the first time I think we've seen anything serpent like on Star Trek, right?
Yeah, it kind of made me think of like something you might see, in an Indiana Jones movie. Yeah,
definitely. So Spock walks into an invisible force shield and gets thrown backwards. So, and look at what is with that yeoman, man? She's so flippant. I can't believe that she's on the away team. What qualifications does she have to be there? Girls, she's totally not invested in the mission at hand here.
Yeah, maybe Chekhov cashed in a favor with Kirk. He said, "Hey, I'm trying to get some time away from the bridge with the yeoman." Yeah,
well, maybe Kirk could understand that perspective, as Chekhov's the only other one on the ship who likes to make time with the ladies. So, usually don't have the other guys, except for Scotty on Who Mourns for Adonis. I think he learned his lesson on that one though. So a little mystery there with Vol. We don't know exactly what's going on, but it looks like there's a staircase that goes into the lizard head's mouth.
Yeah.
So kind of a little bit of there's more of these serpent tongues all over the place. I can't believe I really didn't notice them as prevalently as before, but yeah. I guess they're sort of obelisks or something.
Yeah.
And everybody wears potato sack clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. They all have them on, so they must get potatoes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And turn them into clothing.
And I think at this point, we're going to see David Soul from Starsky and Hutch.
Really?
He's one of the people here.
Oh.
But they're talking. Yeah. I didn't know he was in the episode when I watched it. And then I did some prep for this recording, and I discovered that he was in the episode. So now they're trying to explain to these people. They're asking them why they don't have children around.
Yeah. So this is why the girl is here. Now we find out there's no actual reason why she's there scientifically, but she's there because they needed a way to try to convey the concept of love to these poor, unknowing villagers.
Yeah.
Who apparently have only been trained to do enough to feed Vol, right? They're not, they haven't been taught enough about, living and anatomy and social graces to form relationships and have children and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So interesting. They put the little flowers around their wrists there, kind of like pipe cleaner, flower arrangements on their wrists.
Mm-hmm. Now, how controversial do you think this episode is from a Prime Directive standpoint?
Oh, good call. Yeah, I think this is still kind of before we had a really clear Prime Directive. Mm-hmm. They're definitely going to violate it, though.
Yeah,
absolutely going to violate it. In fact, but there's a little bit of an argument about it later too.
Yeah, what is it? Spock. He puts up a little bit of resistance to the amount of intervention they have.
Yeah, and Kirk just kind of. Well, I think the conundrum here is they can't get themselves and the ship out of this situation without disrupting this society, because Vol is the reason why the ship is losing its orbit and power, right? So,
but do you also think, and I think Kirk sort of explains this later in the episode, that as a human, they're seeing parallels between themselves and this race, and they're really sort of, or he's really sort of connected with them, and almost wondering what it would be like for human and the human race if they were sort of stunted like this.
Yeah. Well, they're stunted, but they're also artificially propped up. So McCoy has just found out that they're not growing old.
Yeah.
There's no disease, no degeneration of their body. So they're kind of in a state of a suspended development, if you will. So they can't grow old, they can't get sick, they can't die, but all they can do is grow this food and use it to feed Vol.
Yeah. So there's a lack of innovation or or real relationship building or the cycle of life.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question really becomes, why would they have both races or both sexes then? I mean, why would they need both? Why would Vol have both sexes?
Yeah.
If they weren't going to grow old, they weren't going to reproduce. It just seems like a risk to take.
Well, did they ever do they ever describe where this race came from? They weren't created by Vol.
I don't believe that they were. But I guess he keeps a certain number of them alive. Just enough to create what he needs and give it to him.
Yeah, well, maybe Vol likes the ladies.
You never know. It might. So now here's an interesting thing. So Vol is allowing the villagers in, but as soon as he sees Kirk and Spock getting up to try to run in, he kind of stops them in their tracks.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some intelligence there. But Spock and Kirk are kind of getting a little bit of what they need to know just by watching.
Yeah. They're basically noticing that he's got a pretty frequent feeding schedule. Yeah,
so he needs this food. We don't know. I mean, obviously he's not an organic life form, right? So they're throwing in all of this organic food, fruits and vegetables and stuff. And I guess Vol consumes it for energy.
Yeah.
But we don't really know exactly what's going on inside there, because they're just kind of throwing the food in. So is there some kind of creature inside there?
Yeah.
McCoy has now joined the scene. I guess we got to fill him in. This is a really strange ritual that they're doing. And you wonder, if this show was made today, I bet you it would eat people.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they'd walk in and they wouldn't come out.
Yeah, there'd be like a once per day, there'd be some sort of a selection ritual where they pick the person who's going to be sacrificed to Vol, and then they toss him in, and that would raise the stakes.
Oh, totally.
Because today's shows, I think, need higher stakes or more disgusting stakes anyway.
Yeah. And this is an episode that I don't think ever really gets as close to the ticking time bomb as they probably could have.
True. True. They've cut it much closer in other episodes than this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here the only real threat is to the Enterprise. The landing party isn't in any kind of apparent danger.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. But shortly they will be. Because I think Val gets sick of them and has the villagers attack them.
Yeah.
So that's when we lose our final red shirt guy.
Mm-hmm. But
I guess red shirt women, aren't subject to the laws, right?
No, I'd imagine not.
No.
It's straight up sexist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's all right. I guess you got to keep Chekhov's girlfriend intact.
Yeah.
But I guess they don't last long because you never see her again.
Yeah. You know what? And I guess the only thing is it's a big ship.
Yep, it is. So, Scotty, another 8 hours to complete the work.
Yeah.
So, and they have, what did they say, 10 hours before or 12 before the ship crashes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do wonder, though, is like why they didn't go with more of a featured player role. Roles that weren't like as beefy as Yeoman Rand. But where you saw this character here, this female, you saw her for 2 or 3 episodes, or even every couple of episodes she would pop up, and really have them as sort of a featured player, where they're not really a part of the principal cast. But I thought that would have been neat, and I'm surprised that the producers or Roddenberry didn't have talent that they liked using. And you almost wonder why Nurse Chapel doesn't pop up more.
Yeah, she's pretty much the only one, and she doesn't show up that often.
Yeah, considering her place,
really.
in Star Trek history.
Yeah, you would have thought that she'd be, in 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Even for just a minute or two. But I think it kind of lends itself more to the times that the show was made. Like, you think today, most shows seem to have a dedicated crew of writers.
Yeah.
Star Trek didn't necessarily. They had a lot of different people writing episodes, and all they really had to work off of was a guide paper, that was written up that said, this is what they do. Their electronics stick to their belts. There's no pockets. This is who the captain is. This is who Spock is. This is the way these characters should be written. But they didn't really have a lot of what continuity cues, for one thing, unless they went back and watched old episodes.
Yeah.
You pretty much turned in scripts, and maybe the Roddenberry or Fontana would correct a few things or sprinkle a few continuity bits in. But for the most part, I think, one thing, if the show was made today, they would have a dedicated group of writers.
Yeah, that's a good point. It seems like most of these episodes, or all of these episodes, were sort of made in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Yeah,
for the most part.
That's a great observation. So now we have some alone time.
Mm-hmm. A little grove there that they found.
Yeah.
With the village, I guess, in the background there.
Yeah,
it's kind of a nice scene.
Yeah, you're really getting a good look at the set here, which is really cool.
Yeah, and look at the villagers kind of spying in the background and seeing what she called them Pav.
Pav, yeah, which I guess never really stuck.
No, but I guess it's kind of cute that she has a little nickname for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And he's very insistent.
Yeah.
So he's really going for it. And we get the Chekhov kiss scene. So there's the heartthrob coming through for you. But this is where the natives are going to get their idea of how to start making out.
Yeah. That might almost be David Soul there. Because that's not the initial. Is that the initial one that? No, see, I think that's David Soul.
You think?
Yeah, that's not the one that Kirk punched at the beginning.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not him.
I believe that's David Soul. He played. Makora?
You got me.
Yeah. I didn't remember them really referencing these guys by name, but that looks like David Soul.
So this is an interesting exchange between the two of them, though, because she's asking some questions about what's going on there and talking about, I guess, wanting to try it out. And he's kind of just brushing it off, saying, well, there's no purpose to it. It doesn't serve Vol.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're just trained to do only what is necessary to sustain Vol, and their own desires have been sort of trained out of their heads. Yeah,
which is really kind of a terrifying thought.
Yeah, so almost Borg-like.
Yeah.
In a way. So, we get a little makeout scene here. And I guess Makora is his name.
Yeah, okay, so that is David Soul.
Yeah, so I guess now they like it.
Yeah.
So that now Prime Directive violated.
Yeah.
Done. They touched in that way. So here they go. He's going to do it again. So now they're going to go back and teach the rest of the village how to make out. And we're going to have another group of space hippies on our hand. You're like, oh, poor Vol. So you got to wonder what would, I guess, if they stopped serving Vol and just started making out all the time, I guess Vol would kind of blow him up with lightning or something.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if the plants were somehow controlled by Vol.
It's a good question. Uh-oh. Yep, they're busted.
Yeah.
Do you beg the lightning to strike? So I guess that means that Vol uses the lightning to control them. I guess they get vaporized. Yeah. Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Do they? I guess he's the only one that has the antennas, right?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's yeah. I guess he's the one that works as Vol's conduit.
Yeah. Oh, so Vol has now said that the Enterprise landing crew are not friends. They're bad people, and I guess it's time to exterminate them. But I think violence to these people is not something that they're used to doing.
Oh yeah, totally. This almost seems to me like the moment where they're being introduced to the concept of doing harm to someone.
Yeah, they don't even understand the word kill. They're saying, what does it mean? It's a thing to do, like feeding Vol. So Akuda kind of marginalizes it.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, it's just a thing to do. So this is the head of the stranger. He's going to actually demonstrate with some sort of melon.
Yeah.
And he's going to smash the melon with a heavy stick. Come up from behind. Interesting that Vol knows how to do that, right? Oh.
Yeah. Oof.
Wow, he really... Is that a cantaloupe?
Yeah. It seemed like something from the melon family.
Yeah. But dyed a certain color or painted. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. So they got to actually explode their skulls by morning.
Oof.
Wow. That's it. So, you know what? My question is, why doesn't Vol do his own dirty work?
Just lightning him?
Yeah. He lightninged the one red shirt guy already. Why can't he just do that now? Why does he have to have the villagers do it? It seems like a very dangerous thing to do, to teach these villagers how to kill when they didn't know how to kill before, and even what it was.
Yeah.
Right? Aren't you kind of inciting an eventual mutiny?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, especially with the fact that you've introduced physical contact. So, yeah, at this point, it almost seems like, the Garden of Eden has become, corrupt. But you could almost maybe argue in terms of Vol and the lightning is to dispatch that many crew members, he probably needs a period to recharge.
Yep. Yeah, it was expend a lot of energy, so I guess maybe he figures he can conserve energy by having the villagers do it.
Yeah, and there's probably a certain satisfaction in, having people do your dirty work.
Yeah. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess we kind of explained it away.
Well, that's good. And that's what I love about watching these episodes with you is there's been so many episodes where, you've mentioned something that I hadn't even thought about or I hadn't keyed in on. And even our supplemental episodes where we really sort of do our deep dives, that's one of my favorite aspects of talking through these episodes with you is sometimes we can figure stuff out.
Yeah, it's been a really cool adventure so far. I think we've had a lot of great discussions, and some that have carried over into the extended episodes. Spock mentioned, just to jump back to the episode real quick, Spock mentioned a non-interference directive.
Yeah, so that's basically the prime directive.
Yep. Yeah, so they're having that little argument back and forth there, about destroying Vol or disabling Vol versus lightning hit Spock.
Yeah, and he's
nice
smoking.
Smoky effect. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah,
that's really neat. So look, they hit him in the back, and now there's some smoke coming out of the back of his shirt. Very, very cool. So Spock's taking a lot of damage this episode.
Yeah, he really gets put through the ringer this episode.
Yeah, that Vulcan physiology, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. Second-degree burns.
Yeah. But they smart.
Unsurpassed talent for understatement. It looks like a giant tuning for... he just came up behind Marple and hit him in the back of the head, thus killing him with a tuning fork. A giant... Wow, did you see... Look at that girl fight.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. These guys, it's really like if me or you had to take on a bunch of toddlers.
They're outclassed. Oh, Spock is up fighting already.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have it in them.
Yeah, but Yeoman Landon, man, I got to hand it to her.
Hey, that's that Starfleet training, man.
Yeah, man. She got a little kick there, a little hip toss.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man. And look, they gave up already. They go, we can't take these guys out. Yeah, nothing we can do. We got to give up the fight. The Volians. Spock calls them the Volians. Interesting. So they've learned to kill with what could easily turn into a slingshot.
Yeah. Kind
of a V shape with a stick on the bottom. So back on the ship in orbit, we don't get a lot of Enterprise time. Just some shots of Scotty on the bridge talking, pretty much.
Yeah, they probably banged him out in half a day or something.
Yeah, so it's interesting because we keep going back and forth from episodes that are completely on the Enterprise to episodes that are completely not on the Enterprise for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, only one gold shirt guy on the bridge, and we have no clue who he is. He's just some guy. Yeah, and look, in the background, they have the guy trying to work on the little console there.
Yeah.
Underneath. We get a lot of these guys who are kind of messing around under these panels in the background. Yeah. So they gained about an hour. The Enterprise has gained about an hour.
Yeah, they were a couple minutes away from, I guess, getting pulled into the atmosphere.
Yep, and there's nothing left. They burned out a lot of the systems on the ship doing it. So no more stays of execution.
Mm-hmm. And this is great because Kirk instantly takes responsibility for the decision that was made to do what they did, and he's concerned about the 400 lives that he's responsible for.
Yeah, and he's actually lamenting the fact that he's following orders.
Yeah. It really illustrates the constant weight that is on a Starfleet captain's shoulders.
Yeah.
When they're away from the ship.
Yeah. Oh, and here we go. Kirk has figured it out. He's not going to let them feed Vol. So that's going to be the magic that allows them to finally make some headway here. So I guess Vol is expending a lot of energy.
Yeah. And this is sort of the physical equivalent of distracting and overwhelming one of the godlike deities that we've seen them do in the past.
Yep, hitting that well again.
Yeah, but here they're going to do it more where they just, tax the being in a physical manner with phasers. But it's very much similar to when they all were attacking verbally Apollo from different directions or distracting Charlie X or.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to see a sort of a slightly twisted take on it.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where I wonder if it would have been more intelligent for Val to just strike down Kirk and Spock with lightning real quick, use whatever remaining energy it had, just to take them out.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a level of arrogance at play with Val, though.
Probably.
Where, he's so used to dealing with such primitive, life forms that almost it seems like maybe his hubris has mechanical hubris has doomed him.
Definitely agree. So I don't think he fully understood the capability of the Enterprise crew.
Yeah, it might have been one of those things where, he thought he was swatting at a fly or something, and it turned out to be a pterodactyl.
Yeah. Oops. But yeah, and here goes the last ditch attempt. So Val is summoning up some lightning and thunder real quick to, I guess, in a last ditch attempt to try to save itself. But we see some explosions and sparks coming from inside the mouth of the serpent. So there's something mechanical in there.
Yeah. And I imagine this was a one and done type of take. And I also love the remastered shot of the Enterprise firing the phasers.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
It looked like something that could have come out of, one of the movies.
Yeah, for sure. So Scotty is really, the Enterprise is really doing a number on Val. Up, and the eyeball lights have gone out.
Yeah, he tapped.
Yep. I guess that was all it took.
Yeah.
For Val. Kind of anticlimactic, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, no big explosion, really. Just kind of some sparks and some smoke. Oh, well. So much for that. But at least they didn't blow up that really cool serpent head. Yeah.
But I'm sure it still ended up in a dumpster at Desilu Studios.
I wouldn't doubt it. Spock has declared Val dead.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, tractor beam is let go.
Yeah, so they got a lot of work. They got to call that insurance adjuster out. Yeah, a lot of damage done to the Enterprise. So we're going to spend a lot of time. They're going to be in orbit around that planet for a while.
Yeah, well, what did they say? It's going to take an hour to fix the transporter?
Yeah. Yeah, it's enough to... Now what? You're going to leave these poor people...
Yeah.
...on this planet, and Val's not around anymore to keep them free from disease, so now they're going to have to deal with that. They've got no doctor.
Mm-hmm. What kind of presence do you think Kirk and the rest of the crew are going to have on these people, or at least future generations of these people? Are they going to be talked about as, like demigods?
I wonder.
Or, or are they going to be looked at as like, sort of, Moses type figures that freed them?
Yeah, that really good points.
It's I would really be curious to look and see what this society was doing and talking about, and what their beliefs were, 500 to 1,000, 2,000 years into the future of that Star Trek time period.
Well, now you would have to think that, once Kirk made his report on what they did down there, that Starfleet would have to send some people there to, help that society. I would think they couldn't just leave them there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, that would seem like the diplomatic thing to do.
Yeah. But still, they would have their initial redemption or their freedom story.
True.
And how would that mutate into almost like a religious type of, redemption story, or, could they build a religion around it?
Yeah, especially if they saw the landing party beam out.
Yeah.
Right? So they appeared one day out of nowhere. Some big laser beams came from the sky, or some big beams of light. Val died. We were free, and then they disappeared again, and we never saw them again.
Yeah. So that's a sort of interesting little road we went down there, and at the end they kind of hit the nail right on the head, where they compare what Starfleet did, or what Kirk did, to I guess Satan enticing Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
One interesting fact about this episode that I didn't mention, and I want to just throw it in here before we do our essential voting, is that the original script for this episode called for the saucer section of the Enterprise to separate.
Oh, wow.
I never knew that was something that was on the docket in the original series.
No, same here.
I thought that was a next-gen thing only. Wow. I did not think the original Enterprise had that capability.
Wow, yeah, and I'd assume it probably got filtered out for budgetary reasons.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah. So at any rate, time for our essential votes. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go first this time, since I always seem to go first?
All right. I am going to come out of the gate and say that I do not think this is an essential episode. There's a slew of interesting ideas on display here. We sort of have, a prime directive like scenario that they deal with. There's some good character moments, but I don't think there's any character moments that we don't get from any of these people in other episodes and illustrated better. So for me, there's just not enough here to deem this essential.
Yeah, I totally agree. Same reasons. A lot of good character moments, fun stuff, interesting episode, but kind of another trip back to the well on a few things. So definitely non-essential for me too, unfortunately. Sometimes you hate calling things non-essential, but in this case, no compelling reason, I think, to call it essential.
Yeah. Now, if they had spun this off into the insurance adjuster show, we'd have reason. But
yeah,
as it stands, we do not.
Nope. All right. Well, such draws us to close to another Tricorder Transmissions episode, and we will be back again next week with the Doomsday Machine, and I think we have a little bit of a special guest on with us to do some talking about that episode. So tune in and check that out.
Excellent.
All right. So as always, you can find us on Facebook.com/Tricorder Transmissions, on Twitter at TTT_pod, and at our own website, thetricordertransmissions.com. And thanks again for listening, everybody. We will see you next week with the Doomsday Machine.
Kirk and company act as liberators of the oppressed, shedding their explorer personas and donning ones of missionaries. Although Val physically resembles the serpent, it's the Enterprise crew that offers the forbidden fruit. They've automatically made the assumption that the inhabitants of Gamma Triangulus 6 want to be free, without ever asking if they sought liberation from the supercomputer. What gives the crew of the Enterprise the right to force the feeders of Val out of their Garden of Eden? It's a philosophical dilemma that the crew members will face again in the course of their mission to go where no man has gone before.